Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony, and this is In the Kitchen, a show about cooking. Earlier today, I was making a pizza from scratch dough, sauce, all of that. And it's a relatively simple thing to do. Now, I know you could order a pizza online, go to the grocery store and buy one of the frozen, but nothing, and I mean, well, not a lot of things beat doing it yourself. So let's discuss that. We're going to start with the dough. So, dough is a little time consuming, but also very, very easy. Let's get to it. So, what you're going to need is, in terms of hardware, you'll need a large bowl, a tea towel, um, some kind of cup for the yeast. We'll talk about the rest as we go along. I can't remember all the things, and I just do it so often. So, let's start with the yeast. Take one of those envelopes of yeast that you get at the grocery store. Just one of them. You know, they come in packs of 3, but just one of them. And pour that into a glass bowl or a cup or something that is that it's 2 cups large. And to that, add a tablespoon of sugar just to activate the yeast. And then you want to add warm water, not hot. You don't want it boiling. Just go to the tap, turn it on for a bit, and once it's warmed up, put your water in. Stir it up, let it sit for about 10 minutes. Let it activate. It gives you plenty of time to prep the other things. So you're going to take your large bowl and you're going to put 4 cups of flour. And then to that, add about a tablespoon of sugar. I mean, not just sugar, I'm sorry, salt. And some vegetable oil. Vegetable oil or olive oil. About 2 tablespoons worth. Mix that all up. Okay. When the yeast is proofed, like I said, about 10 minutes, pour it into the bowl of flour and mix it up. You want it to be together. It's going to be a little shaggy, like the guy that says it wasn't me, but it's going to be a little shaggy. But just work it. You're going to knead it inside the bowl. You're eventually going to get a ball that is, I wouldn't say hard to move, but it's got a heft. It's got some weight to it. That's okay. Just keep working it. And then once it's got a pretty good shape and it's kind of solid, take some more oil on the bottom of the bowl, pour it on the bottom, roll your dough in it so it's all coated. Take the tea towel, put it on top, let it sit. So I let my dough sit for at least 2 hours, or I'll do it overnight. I'll put it in a Ziploc baggie and I'll let it in the fridge. But we're going to treat it that we're not going to do that. So after about 2 hours, take the dough out of the bowl, cut it in half, because you actually have 2 dough balls or 2 pizzas in there. And you could stretch it out on a pizza pan or a sheet pan, and then you can make pizza. Now, one little point about the sheet pan portion of this, make sure that the sheet pan or the pizza pan is well oiled. Take some cooking spray and spray it down a lot. Just make sure it doesn't stick. But that's it. So you've got a pizza. You got a flatbread, really, is what you got, because if you look at recipes for other flatbreads, it's basically the same thing. Some may say a little more water, some may say a little less. I've seen flatbreads that have yogurt. I've never done it. But there you go. So once you got that, you can top it. Now, I'd like to point out, if you hadn't already noticed, that this dough is relatively neutral. You didn't season the flatbread. You didn't put thyme or chili powder or whatever. It's a flatbread, flat, neutral bread. So what are you going to do with it, right? Well, I mean, the obvious thing is to take some kind of tomato sauce, whether you make it at home or you use a jar or whatever, and you put that on top and some topping and cheese. Yes, that is wonderful. You could also take this, and minus the tomato sauce, just put cheese on top. You get some cheese bread. You can also make a dessert pizza if you like. Take like some peanut butter or some Nutella, and then maybe put some bananas. Anyway, but before you do that portion, you need to bake it. So here's what I do. I'm not some kind of major chef. I'm just a home chef. I'm just a guy that takes ingredients and puts them together so I have dinner. So you're going to take the pizza on the tray, your sheet tray, on your pizza pan, whatever you're doing, and you're going to bake it in a 500-degree oven. You start with about 7 minutes. So bake it for 7 minutes flat, no ingredients. And then that's where you put ingredients on top, sauces, pepperoni, whatever, and the cheese, and put it back in the oven for 5 minutes. Take it out, let it cool, so then you can cut it. So like I said, bake the pizza. When it comes to the dessert pizza, like I said, the Nutella, maybe some not tomatoes. Ooh, Nutella. No, don't do that. Do not do that. But banana, maybe some marshmallows, little tiny marshmallows you put in the cocoa, and just serve it that way. And make sure that you have to make sure the dough is baked. But you didn't have to be a pizza in a traditional sense. You can put salsa. I did a pizza recently with salsa and pepper jack cheese. I might also put refried beans. It's your flatbread. You can do what you want. There's a spice mix called za'atar from the Middle East. I think it's in particularly Palestine, that you mix with olive oil and put it in there. So you've got lots of possibilities. So next time we'll talk about other things. We'll be back.
This is your community calendar. The West Side Stoners and the East Side Tokers are getting together for a charity softball game this Sunday at the Philip Glass Athletic Complex. Drinks and candy will be sold by Mr. Karen's Pot Shop. Gates open at 1 p.m., and it is a 21 and up event. Make sure to have a valid ID. Do you like to sleep? The Kiwanis Club is having a sleep contest. Donate $5 and compete to take the longest nap. You could win $200. It will be this Wednesday at noon. Call Jim at 555-4077 for all the details. Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, and Leonard Cohen will not be performing at the Canadian Showcase, but there will be 3 up-and-coming musicians from the Great North. It's $5 at the door of the Robert Mapplethorpe School of Performing Arts this Sunday at 3 p.m. Can you fight fire with water? How many steps does it take to follow the rules of the game? These questions and more will be answered thanks to the comic stylings of Kim, Bad Dates, Rose. She'll be performing at the Piggly Wiggly Waffle Room off Route 47 this Friday at 10 p.m. The cover is $10 and 6 canned goods. Back to Swap Shop in a moment.
Hey, you! Have you gotten your flu shot? You should go get your flu shot today, so you don't get sick. You don't get your mama sick. You don't get her mother sick. You don't want to get sick. They don't want to get sick. Get your flu shot today.
Woo-wee! It's your old friend Yosemite Sam. And, I get hungry between meals sometimes. I don't want another big meal. I'm not a hobbit. I don't want second breakfast. That's why I get an energy bar. It's not an energy bar. The company's name is Energy, and it's a bar. It's very weird. I know. It's a little strange. It's going to just follow along. It's kind of complicated because there are grains, but they're really low-carb grains. And then there's, sugar-free sugar and some fruits, but all the sugar's been strapped out of those as well. Scientists, they know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but they know. But you should pick some up. Have them in between lunch and dinner. Have them between breakfast and lunch. Have them between breakfast and that little snack. Just have them all the time. Check them out. Go to the store. Get in your car. Walk over there. Take a bus. Whatever. And buy an energy bar.
Hi, everybody. We're back to In the Kitchen. The last day when we showed you how to make a flatbread, and this time we're going to show you the hardware that you need. Now, when I say this, I mean you don't have to necessarily go to the big kitchen store or your big box store or go online and order things. You probably have all the things you need in your kitchen. Let's start with all the hardware. First, large bowl. Something you can mix the dough in. And then, like I said, a tea towel, which you probably have a tea towel. I'm assuming you have a tea towel. You're going to need a sheet pan or a pizza pan. If you just have like a half or a quarter sheet pan, that will work. You'll need a pizza cutter. If you don't have a pizza cutter, you can use just a standard knife. Spatula, so you can get the pizza off the pizza pan. You're going to need a nice measuring cup or glass container or something for the yeast. If you're going to just do one thing, I would suggest a Pyrex container, a Pyrex measuring cup. The glass one's really sturdy. I would go for a 2-cup. That's just me. I think that's really it. I don't do a pizza stone. You could buy a pizza stone, you could buy a peel. But if you're just on a budget, those are the easiest things to have. In terms of software or in terms of ingredients and such, all-purpose flour. You don't need bread flour. I don't really like using whole wheat flour because it's thick and it's hard to navigate and it's just a different taste. You're going to need yeast, which I don't remember how much they are, but they're cheap. You can buy I think a yeast for like $1 or $2, and you can get 3 of them. So 3 pizzas, 3 flatbreads, whatever. You're going to need water. I'm assuming you have water. Olive oil or vegetable oil. Some salt. All things you already have. Yeah. So that's it. No need to go shopping. Unless, and if you do, I found a really good, 10-inch pizza pan at the Goodwill. For I don't know, $4, $5. Really cheap. Try that. Try your Goodwill. Try your thrift shops. So that's about it for what the budget. And then you can go and make the flatbread. We'll be back.
Ooh-wee. I know it's been a while. I know you've been missing me. That's right. I know you love me. It's your old friend Yosemite Sam, and I'm here to tell you about one of our favorite new products. Sometimes when you're in the supermarket line and you don't remember the name of a song, and you're just going, what is the name of that song? I know that song. It's playing in the loudspeaker. I know it. What is it? Well, what if I told you there was a service that you could find these things out immediately and help a child at the same time? I know, doesn't that sound amazing? Well, this is how it works. It's called Yibbity-Yang. That's right, Yibbity-Yang. So, it's a subscription service on your telephone, that little computer you have in your pocket, probably in your hand right now. Anyway, and you just type in the button of help me find this number, the song, whatever. It can be several things. A little child comes up to you, taps you on the shoulder. Well, they jump up on your, they have to hop to touch you, unless you're short. But anyway, I am not short. They tap you on the shoulder and they tell you what it is. It's like a real-life search engine. It is amazing. And like I said, you are helping a child. We all want to help children, right? So that's Biggity Bang. Check it out.
Please note that the show I'm Not Toxic, You Are, You Fool is being preempted by the AARP Young Persons Awards
tonight at 7 o'clock on channel 147.
Welcome back to In the Kitchen. I got a caller here that has a question. Hi. I want to know, what's the history of pizza? Where did it come from? Thanks. You know, that is an excellent question. And it's not one that's easily said. But let's try. So, back in the olden days, before the internet, before the Civil War, before George Washington even, the Romans were making flatbreads where they would put like olive oil and garlic on them. That was kind of the proto-pizza. Eventually you get the margherita, which is basil and mozzarella and tomato. And then during World War II, American soldiers came back with pizza. I mean, they didn't come back with the pizza, they came back with the recipes for pizza. And that's where you have all your pizzerias. And then, of course, Domino's and Pizza Hut came along to make sure you can bring it to your door. That's pretty much a very, very brief and not very comprehensive version of the history of pizza. But that's all the time we have for now. If there's any topics you want to talk about, just send me an email. It's inthekitchen@inthekitchen.com. Bye now.